Here is potentially one of the biggest compliment getters that you can own in 2023. This one is by the brand Precious Liquid. I've covered this brand on my channel before. I did a review of a number of their fragrances, including Blue Agave. Here is one called Salt and Pepper. I'm very excited to give you my thoughts on this spicy, peppery, and aquatic fragrance, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Salt and Pepper by Precious Liquid, this is a huge compliment getter. In the same vein as like a Creed Aventus cologne or a Versace Dylan Blue or a Dior Sauvage or even a Ganymede by Marc-Antoine Barrois, I do want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it, hit the bell icon, and give this video a thumbs up if you took something of value from today's episode. So I have many fragrances from this brand. This brand obviously is the brand of Richard Herpen and his wife. Richard Herpen is an amazing perfumer. He's done Oud Wood by Tom Ford. He's done fragrances for so many different brands. And I know I've mentioned this brand on my channel many times in the past, and I'm really impressed with the quality of work that is coming from this brand. Here we have a fragrance called Salt and Pepper. Now, it seems like a pretty simple name, and perhaps a lot of people, their interest will be piqued, and you'll think to yourself, well, what is this going to smell like? Looking at the note breakdown, you have Sichuan pepper, you have black pepper, you have pink pepper, and if you think the spices are going to end there, you have carrot seed, you have caraway, you have coriander, so the triple C in the heart. You also have this sort of violet aquatic thing happening in the base. You have a little bit of bergamot in there as well. So this is a very fresh yet spicy and peppery fragrance, but it has this huge compliment getting appeal to it. And I do want to let you know that if you're interested in picking this one up from the website, if you utilize the code Steven40, you're going to get $40 off your purchase. And that is the best price that you could possibly find this for online. No boutique is going to match it as far as I know. If you purchase this one from the official website, you utilize the code Steven40, you're going to get $40 off your purchase. And they are running a really cool deal on discovery sets at the moment. So please take advantage of everything that's on the website right now. But I'm really excited to talk to you about the smell. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So kind of like the name implies here, the first thing that you're going to get is the pepper, right? So it opens up kind of spicy, but not overwhelmingly so. There are fragrances like Poivre Samarkand by Hermes that opens up really spicy. That's not what you're going to get here. You're actually going to get a pretty fair balance of spices and fresh elements. As soon as I sprayed this on, I was pretty convinced that Blue Agave is going to be the #1 compliment getter from the brand. But now, having smelled this one and also another one called Turquoise Waters, I'm pretty convinced that Salt and Pepper is the #1 compliment getter from this brand. This has that mass appeal to it. It has that universal appeal. I can't imagine anybody on earth smelling this and thinking, oh, that doesn't smell very pleasant. This is going to be a huge compliment getter. So you're going to get a nice balance of the black pepper, the pink pepper in the opening, and of course those are kind of the overwhelming spices, and their presence is not overwhelming, but that's what's going to direct and dictate the opening of this fragrance. You do have a touch of olibanum in the dry down. Olibanum, for me, otherwise known as frankincense, has always given off more of a lemony pine aroma. I don't get a lot of that. I do get a touch of freshness, and I think the bergamot is the chief contributor for that. But I think in the dry down, in regards to the olibanum, I don't find this to be overwhelmingly ambery or woodsy or earthy or verdant or anything like that. The freshness really overtakes anything. As a matter of fact, the violet that is in here cleans things up in a major way, and I think it kind of offsets that spiciness because the violet comes across rather clean. And I really enjoy that because for me, when I think of violet, I think of Dior's Fahrenheit, which is kind of like a darker, rough and tumble, petrol smelling, you know, burnt rubber, kind of violet. And then I also think of the discontinued L'Homme Libre by Yves Saint Laurent. That's a very clean violet, and the latter is what you can expect here. So this is a very clean, fresh, billowy type of a violet with the bergamot serving as a really nice complement to it. You do have the carrot seeds in the heart. The coriander also adds a bit of freshness to it. And coriander I had discovered many years ago after digging a little bit deeper into Ocean by Bath & Body Works, that it actually contributes to an oceanic appeal. So the salt is coming from the coriander and some of these brighter spices, the violet of course, and then in the dry down you do have this clean musky sensation. Not sure if musk is in here, I don't recall seeing it in the note breakdown, but it does have this smooth dry down, and just smelling it again, I'm imagining this being one of the most versatile niche fragrances on the market. And what I love about it is that it's not another fruity chypre where it's not trying to be Creed Aventus, it's not trying to be Dior Sauvage, it's not trying to be Versace Dylan Blue. It's not trying to be one of these really, really popular niche or designer fragrances. It's doing its own thing, utilizing an abundance of spice, utilizing that oceanic presence, but doing it in this huge compliment getting way. Salt and Pepper by Precious Liquid is certainly a fragrance that I would recommend you try. And once again, I'm going to leave the link down below. And if you're interested in getting the best deal possible on this fragrance, make sure you utilize the code Steven40 for $40 off. I think that's a huge, huge deal. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, this fragrance is unique, all things considered. I did make a few other comparisons throughout the course of this video, but at the end of the day, this fragrance does its own thing. It has that compliment getting appeal to it. And I'm gonna be wearing this fragrance so often because I consider it to be very, very versatile. In terms of the longevity, you can expect about 8 hours on skin. Projection was wonderful for the first hour and 15 minutes. It radiated a little bit beyond an arm's length. It became an elbow's length scent right around the 6.5 hour mark, a skin scent right around the 9 hour mark. In terms of the versatility, it is a little bit masculine leaning, I have to be honest with you, but that's from a traditional vantage point. Of course, these are just recommendations. Wear what you want, wear what makes you happy. I think this can be worn any time of the year. And I say that because the longevity is great, but it also has that freshness on account of the salt that is mentioned in the name. So you can wear this all year long. This one would work great as a casual or a formal fragrance. And I can see anybody of any age really enjoying this one. It does have that quote unquote niche quality that somebody who's a little bit older, more experienced in the perfume realm would really enjoy, but somebody who's a little bit younger, they're just looking for something that you can wear effortlessly, a compliment getter. So this one is really an incredibly versatile fragrance, perhaps the most versatile fragrance from this entire brand. And in terms of the presentation, I personally love the presentation, the silhouette of the bottle, the gold hardware, so on and so forth. My final verdict on this fragrance is, if you're looking for a huge compliment getter, something that will serve as a strong competitor to fragrances like Dior Sauvage, Versace Dylan Blue, Creed Aventus, so on and so forth, please check out Salt and Pepper by Precious Liquid, done by an amazing perfumer. He's super, super talented. So happy to have had the opportunity to own and review this fragrance. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon and also give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would mean so much to me. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.